The key overall macro issue in Lebanon is reforms. You had a little over a year ago an IMF staff level agreement with Lebanon, and there have been a number of IMF missions since then, and the most recent again expressed dismay that things have not moved on that track. As you may be aware, there's a political impasse. There's no president. There's a caretaker government, and Parliament really hasn't been convening. So we have a political impasse in Lebanon at this point, and the sort of macroeconomic reforms that need to take place in the banking sector, etc., are not really moving, and that's blocking a lot of the financing that is needed to move in this way. So again, it goes back to trying to find some small wins, some small areas that one can work on. And there we are having some, I think, very promising discussions in terms of plans that were in the works before, that have been developed further, that are on a reform track in areas like health, education, social protection.
The disinformation and misinformation campaigns targeting the Syrian refugees and the refugees in general, refugee population in Lebanon. So what should be done to protect refugees from those campaigns?
So it's a bit of correcting the misinformation and disinformation that is there, of trying to make sure that people understand actually what the facts are, that we are at this time, for example, assisting probably around 1 million refugees and 1 million Lebanese, and then in addition to that, Palestine refugees and migrants. So it's about getting across the message that our interventions are based on need, and the needs, unfortunately, are huge right now, and they're across all populations. The resources are not enough. So it's a lot about communicating, but it's in a situation of a political vacuum right now, which is also making things very, very difficult.
On a positive note, can you tell us more about the UN work in amplifying young people's voices in public life in Lebanon?
The positive in that is you've got an incredible number of very talented and motivated youth in Lebanon, and we've got a whole set of different programs that help them. There's something called Tech that puts them in, sort of a fast track of getting linked into a lot of the more tech companies that are around, without going through the whole usual university. A fast track in that. It's supported by a number of donors. The Netherlands is quite an important supporter in that, and a number of UN agencies are involved in that. So that's good. There's a great deal of sort of leadership, mentoring, training, discussing with different youth groups that's going on, because it's not just about inclusion, it's about trying to help them shape the path ahead in Lebanon. What's happening, you said it's a positive side. The negative of it is also that many youth are trying to leave Lebanon given the current crises. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that they have some hope within the country and involvement in that way. One of a very interesting sort of initiative we did that UNDP was quite involved in recently was to take a whole number of youth volunteers to go and help ministries. In this case, it was the Ministry of Finance primarily, because of the crises, there's a huge institutional weakness in the government, in the ministries, and a lot of people not being able to come to work even. And so a huge backlog of a whole set of different types of files, work, data entry and the like that's there. That is essential to do. So we tried this thing where getting 600 volunteers, youth volunteers, to go in there. And it made them understand, I think, the mechanics of what's going on as well, extremely well. So it's about involvement. It's about not just, I would say, inclusion, but trying to involve youth in decision-making and strategic planning of paths ahead.